What is going on, everybody? Aaron here. Welcome to the video. So today the crypto market is taking a breather, even though we hit a new all-time high today in the stock market. So taking a look here, the US stock market hit a new all-time high. Cryptos is taking a little break, and I think there's a reason for that, which I'll get to a little later in the video. For the week, we are about half up, half down. For the month, crypto is still doing incredibly well. So just to remind you guys, on Wednesday, there's going to be an interest rate decision, but the Treasury just released their borrowing estimates, 1.6 trillion in new debt issuance over the next 2 quarters. So the US Treasury plans to borrow $1.6 trillion in debt. And without going into the nitty-gritty of all this is good for Bitcoin and crypto. And the reason why is this is again pointing to ongoing fiscal expansion, increasing the money supply basically. And this is why I believe the market has kind of cooled off a bit. So Bloomberg said that the White House Digital Asset Report will be publicly released this Wednesday. So the same day as the Fed meeting. And they will, or they should, talk about the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve in this announcement. So I think a lot of investors are just kind of waiting to see what happens this week. And you got to remember that Ethereum and altcoins did incredibly well over the last couple weeks. Ethereum hit a low of $2,100 June 22nd, so a little over a month ago. And just yesterday, we were about to cross 4,000. We hit 3,900 and change. So Ethereum has done incredibly well, and I think a pullback is just natural. Again, even Solana, June 22nd, hit $125. And a few days ago, it was $205, right? So there has been an incredible rally for a lot of altcoins. I'll get to some of these coins in just a moment. And this is incredibly important. So remember that whale that sold 80,000 Bitcoin a few days ago? They did that without a single purchase from Michael Saylor. So Strategy announced that no Bitcoin buys were made during July 21st to July 27th when they sold 80,000 Bitcoin. And tomorrow, he gets around $2.5 billion to deploy. Okay, so this is going to, in my opinion, really drive the price up. And just to remind you, like I shared in yesterday's video, many of these Bitcoin treasury companies like 21 Capital, led by Jack Mallers, and others have not even begun to buy Bitcoin yet. They are still waiting for approval to do so. So, I think we are still incredibly early. That sounds so cringe when I say that, but I still think we are. And this goes into exactly what happened with this 80,000 Bitcoin. So these coins sat untouched since 2011, which is crazy. But here's why it is exciting. So $9 billion of Bitcoin selling was fully absorbed by the market, and we only had a very slight drop in Bitcoin, I think around $3,000 or $4,000, and this was a few days ago. For comparison, when Germany recently sold their 50,000 Bitcoin, it triggered a 15% drop. And again, this sale of 80,000 Bitcoin, so more than Germany, the price only dipped 3.5%, and then it recovered within hours. And why is this happening? Well, old whales are exiting. I think some. Maybe some people that have hundreds of millions or billions of dollars and they're getting older. Yeah, they may want some US dollars just to live their life, right? And institutions are stepping in to fill the spots of these old whales. A whale just means somebody that has a ton of Bitcoin. So this person that had 80,000 Bitcoin was a whale. So yeah, overall, this is super bullish because this is what usually happens. We see a cohort of people holding Bitcoin, they sell, and then new people come in to then buy their coins. That's what needs to happen, or else the price will tank. If everybody's selling and there's no buyers, then the price of Bitcoin drops like a rock, right? But we're seeing new institutions, we're seeing new players with a lot of capital come into the market. And again, a lot of these Bitcoin treasury companies have not even begun to start buying yet. We're seeing Saylor obviously buy a lot, Michael Saylor, but a lot of these other companies haven't even begun. And speaking of which, Backed Holdings announces it will raise money to purchase Bitcoin. So this is another one. They previously had updated their investment policy to buy up to $1 billion in Bitcoin. Very cool. So we will see more and more of this as time goes on, without a doubt. One coin that I am following quite a lot, and I have been for a while, is Axon DAO. They've been hovering in this range for several months, and I know from speaking to people high up that there is a lot in the pipeline, a lot in the works with Axon. So, this is one that I have a bag of that I'm not going to be selling. But yeah, there's a lot of coins that are in good ranges. If XRP comes back down to $2, which, I hope not, but this has been a range that for many, many months, ever since the end of 2024, I'm like, guys, $2 XRP is literally where it always bounces off from. So if it comes back down to 2, I will be loading up the truck for XRP. And if you want to buy some of these coins, you can do so on BTCC. You can buy spot. If you are a professional trader, leverage is available, but only do that if you absolutely know what you're doing and be very, very safe with that. They have very low trading fees and a pretty sizable bonus on first-time deposits. And just a shout out to the Gemini credit card. I've been using this thing almost every day. You can see right here my transactions, going to Chipotle, going to Sprouts. I'm still in Vegas. I recently checked out this amazing restaurant, Aubergine Kitchen, 3% back in Bitcoin. Guys, so, I'll include the link to this below if you want to check it out. You can see here, the moment I bought my overpriced dinner, which was well worth it, I immediately got 85 cents in Bitcoin, 3% of whatever it was, $28.26. And this is Bitcoin that I immediately withdraw into a cold storage device. Okay, so it's incredible. You can withdraw that Bitcoin, or if you want to earn rewards in altcoins, go for it. But I'm earning rewards in Bitcoin, and you can immediately send it wherever you want. It doesn't have to stay on Gemini. It doesn't have to be sold to US dollars to then get it off Gemini. You can just send it wherever you want. So that's it for the video. That was not a paid Gemini plug, but there is a referral link below. Honestly, I'm only sharing it because I freaking love this card. Hope you guys are doing well. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.